Hey, it's Jag. I guess I got some housekeeping to do.
Yeah.
After talking with my brother, we're not going to use a lighted switch on the front. We're just going to go with the edge lighting, and that will still be able to be turned on or off. So if the edge lighting's on, obviously when the preamp is turned on, you'll know because the faceplate will be lit up. But if you've got the edge lights off, the only way you're really going to know it's turned on is by the position of the toggle switch. Easy enough to remember: up, on, down, off. The reason we're doing that, there was two reasons. The biggest reason being that this switch, when I took it out of its package, the first thing I tested was that the LED worked and it was working fine. But for some reason, now it's not. And I couldn't find a replacement for that one. I was looking for it in amber or red. Amber would have been good because it would have matched with the edge lights. But I can't find them, at least not for a reasonable price. With tariffs and everything, and me being in Canada, and all of the customs and duties, fees, and shipping, one of these coming from the States would have cost $50. I'm not paying that for a switch. So that was the main reason we've decided to go with no front light. The other reason is my brother would like to have the whole front be completely dark if he needs that option. So it makes sense to just go with switches that aren't lit. So I did manage to find a supplier of switches that are almost the same, slightly different, but here in Canada, and I'm getting them for about $10 each. I got two, and I'm going to use those switches, so I'm waiting for them to come in. They'll probably come in this afternoon, but I'm not going to have time to put them in and solder them up. That's change number one. I'm changing the actual switches I'm using. The other thing is I did the layout several episodes ago in DIY Layout Creator, and I forgot that I'd only done it as far as the circuit card and the front panel controls. I hadn't put in the components for the connector for the edge lighting, the front panel switch, the edge lighting switch, the boost mode converter, all of those things. I had not incorporated those into the layout. And when you do that, it significantly changes the way you're going to do the wiring, because everything becomes more clear to you. I'll bring you down to a screen recording here and show you what I mean. So here's the layout that I had, and as you can see, I did have all of the controls, the input jack, everything all marked in, but I did not have the power LED switch. I didn't have the wiring for the heater or any of the incoming power or the outputs. I started thinking, well, I'll just do this as I'm soldering, and I did install all of the components on the back panel, which is mostly where most of these are, and started working on it, and it was just becoming a confusing mess of wires. If you look at this, I have a ground marked here, a ground here, a ground here, a ground here, and a ground here. There's a ground here, one here. And that's just to let me know that that's where those connections are going to terminate. As I said in the last video, I'm going to have a star ground for everything up front. So all of these aren't actually going to their own ground. They're going to this star ground, which will be right in the middle here. And I'm going to do the same on the back. This ground and this ground will go to the same ground as the incoming DC power, and where the boost converters, negative side grounds, etc., the switch and all of that. So as I said, I started doing that on the fly, and it was just becoming a confusing jumble of wires. So I took the time and I redid the layout. So back on the screen recording here, you can see this is going to be the final layout. Earlier in a couple of episodes ago, when I was wiring up the board, I wired these grounds together, this one, and this one, and they go to the ground point. I also wired a ground bar across the back of the pots, which goes to this ground point. And the ground for the input jack will go to that same point. So as you can see now, it's a lot clearer what's going on. This is our central ground, our star ground for the input side of things, we'll call it. And I've got all of those grounds going there. In addition, once I started wiring this, I realized that this ground wire that I had put here out as a separate wire, that didn't need to happen. This ground wire, I'm going to put a jumper from here to here. So we'll have this ground going through here and then to the ground on the jack, which will then go to this terminal strip, the center tab, which will be grounded. Also, we have the ground lift switch coming from here and going to ground. We'll talk about how that works in a minute. And the negative incoming from the DC brick also grounds there. The negative input and output terminals of the boost converter will also ground to that central point. And the negative side for the edge lighting, and the negative side for the heater wiring will also be on this ground tab. This tab will be our main power star connection, if you want to call it that. So the power coming in from the DC brick will come up here to the front panel switch. When it's on, it will complete this circuit, where that will come back down to this main 12 volt DC positive side of the rail is on this tab. From there, we will take one wire to the positive input of the boost converter, also to the positive side for the heaters, and we'll also be taking positive power from there to the edge lighting switch, which when it's on will complete this circuit up to the edge lights. We also have the now the high voltage power coming out from the boost converter, and it goes all the way over here to where our V plus eyelet is on the board. So we have all of that laid out now. The way this ground lift switch works, when the ground is not the ground switch is not closed, in other words, the circuit's not completed, on the other side of this ground, we have this capacitor and resistor going to the terminal on the XLR jack. So that's when it's lifted. That goes through this resistor and capacitor to lift the ground. When the ground switch is closed, it shorts that out, and everything just goes through to ground here. So you can see when the switch is closed, we have this whole section going to ground, and the other side of it is also going to ground, if that makes sense. Think on it a bit, you'll get it. I also have wired now my outputs. So the output for the unbalanced just comes essentially straight off this wire, which goes to the wiper of the volume pot, and then it attaches to this terminal for the transformer for the balanced output, but it also goes straight through to the tip for the output jack, the unbalanced output jack. For the balanced side, we have this terminal from the transformer going to the hot terminal for the XLR output, and we have this side of the transformer going to the cold side of the XLR output. So that's all the wiring completed. Obviously I have a ground here to the body of the volume pot, and a ground here to the body of the middle pot as well, and those ground to that star ground point right here through this bus bar. As I said, the pots themselves are isolated from the chassis because of the powder coating on the chassis. So that's why I'm okay putting a ground bus bar across the back of the pots. Normally I would not do that because the bodies of those pots would be grounded through the chassis. they're not in this case. So that's what we've got going on. I've finished the layout. You got a good picture of it here. You can pause the video and take a look at how everything's going through if you want to double check that. If you see that I've made a mistake, let me know. I don't think I did. I've gone over this comparing the schematic to the layout multiple times, making sure everything is connected right. And I've gone over the layout itself multiple times, making sure that everything flows through the way it should. But if you happen to notice any mistakes, I'd appreciate you letting me know, so chime in the comments below. So as I said, I'm waiting on the new switches to come in, so I don't have those installed right now. But what I can do on the preamp is I used my Dremel and ground a little bit of the powder coating off on the chassis, just on the inside here where this terminal strip is going to go for the power ground and power input, and I'm just going to solder it in there. I've got the big soldering iron heated up and ready to go again. So that's the first thing I'm doing. And now that's in there nice and solid. Another thing along a similar line that I need to do is with the boost mode converter. So the boost mode converter has these screw terminals for power in and power out. I had said earlier that I did not want to take this apart, but I am going to take this apart, remove this terminal block, and then I'll solder the power wires in directly to the board. I also didn't realize that it was going to really be as easy as just taking out this screw bar out of here, and then I can just slide the whole circuit card out of the chassis. And probably some solder wick is going to work better for this than the solder sucker. And there we are, one screw terminal block unsoldered. And there we are. Boost converter back together. 2 negative wires, 2 positive wires. So the negative wires will go to our ground. This is the input hot, and this will be the B plus output to the board. Well, it's a short one today. I'm out of time. Time went by really quick today, so I didn't get as much done as I thought I would. But I'm ready now, as I say, waiting for those switches. Once I get the switches in, this should go pretty quick. So pretty sure the next video I will have all the wiring done and be ready to be testing the preamp, or at least very close. We'll see how that goes. Speaking of the next video, I have some things going on in other parts of my life for the next week or two. So next video will probably be 2 weeks after this one, maybe 3, but going to try and keep it more to 2. I think it's been 2 since my last video came out. So like always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Check my band One Soul Thrust. The links are in the description below. Please give this video a thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps out a lot. And subscribe so you don't miss the next video when it does come out. Like always, thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you guys.